If you would have told me over 10 years ago that I was going to be very good at cold calling, that I was going to be a real estate agent, and that most of my prospecting and business would come from expires and for sale by owners, I would have told you that you were crazy. And let me tell you, growing up, I was very introverted. I was very shy in high school, in middle school, in elementary, and even in college. I was the type of student that if the teacher asked a question, I would make sure to avoid eye contact. If they wanted to volunteer, I would make sure to have my head down to not make eye contact to be called out. And so the fact that I became an agent and the fact that I'm even doing YouTube and have done hundreds of videos still kind of blows my mind. But in this video, I just want to share with you how I overcame my fear of cold calling and rejection, being someone that I guess you could say was introverted growing up. And let's get to it. So, when I got into real estate, a lot of people think that I was always very good in front of a camera and talking. And in reality, I wasn't. But I'll tell you this, creating videos and content on YouTube absolutely helped me get better with my communication because it forced me to be able to have eye contact with a camera and be able to talk on a microphone for long periods of time without having to pause or mess up and complete full thoughts. So, in a way, social media did help me when it came to public speaking. But when it came to overcoming my fear of cold calling, for me, it was really just understanding what my why was. So, why was I doing this? Why was I pursuing real estate? And knowing that those that were successful in this business did it. They've done it, they have been successful, they got results. So I was not about to reinvent the wheel. I said to myself, you know what? All of these top producers, they go after listings, they pick up the phone, and they don't care about being rejected. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I saw a lot of agents on cold calling doesn't work or cold calling is dead or how embarrassing. Like, I hate cold calling. And look, at the end of the day, you might still hate it, you might never do it. But for me personally, when someone tells me that they're scared or there's a group of people that absolutely hate it, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be very good at it so that all of these people that were scared, they see me and they're like, oh, dang, it actually does work. So when I started, I started expireds and for sale by owners. Now, absolutely, I can tell you 100% these were tough. These were really tough, but I was role playing every single day. I had 5 role play partners. I was role playing in the mornings before I started my calls because I wanted to make sure that as soon as I got in a phone call with an expired, I knew what was going to come out of my mouth and I knew what objections were probably going to be thrown at me and how I would handle them. So my fear started to go away as I started to get better with handling objections. Now this took time. This didn't happen overnight. And I think that is a big thing that unfortunately a lot of agents think. They think, it's been a week, I don't know how to handle it. It's becoming tough. It doesn't work. And that's not how it is, it took months, a lot of discipline, a lot of commitment, just going after these lead sources that a lot of agents are afraid of, right? But I told myself, I want to go after listings because I had always heard you have to list to last. And I said, you know, I'm okay with working with buyers, but if I can list properties and have more time for myself, then that just makes more sense for me. And plus, I can negotiate my commission. Then let me do this. I know it's tougher, but again, top producers have done it, so I'm going to do it. So as I was making these phone calls, I was the type of agent that, you know what, I would pick up the phone and it's like I put the phone number, but I'm struggling to press send because I'm hoping that they don't answer. But once I did it, I got on a roll. I told myself, you know what, what's the worst that can happen? They'd have no idea what I look like. I'm probably never going to see them in my life. And if I do end up setting an appointment or even listing their house, that means it's going to be like a $10,000 paycheck for me and they're going to get the results that they were looking for. So those are just some of the things that I played in my head. I also did a lot of affirmations. I told myself I was the best agent when it came to cold calling. I would set 2 appointments every single day. Everyone loved talking to me. So I was programming my mind into believing these things. So again, cold calling, it might not be glamorous, it might not be fun, but it's going to get you to what you're looking for. Social media nowadays, YouTube, Instagram, any agent can get leads from there. But I can tell you that the skills that I have and my ability to communicate and handle objections on the spot with whoever it is, whether it's someone who's selling a mobile home to a $20 million property, I got those skills because of my consistent prospecting on the phone. Something else that I did my first year was I did a lot of door knocking. Now that's going to be a separate video, but the door knocking did help because a lot of interaction, a lot of body language, a lot of eye contact. I learned that in person, dealing with these potential homeowners, having conversations with them. So again, overcoming your fear of cold calling, it's going to take some time. And if you're absolutely terrified of cold calling or just even picking up the phone and making phone calls, perhaps this business might not be for you. Because you're going to have to make phone calls one way or another. Even if you are getting social media leads, you're going to have to call that person and have a conversation. But again, depending on what your why is, you're really going to have to decide if you're going to let this fear take over or if you're going to push it to the side and be like, you know what? I'm going to overcome this because on the other side of that phone is a homeowner that needs my help. That's exactly what I did, and that's exactly how I've listed a lot of expireds and for sale by owners, and how I get a lot of referrals now from them. From them, my sphere of influence, past clients. So the last thing I want to leave you with is that look, it's not easy, it's not glamorous, but I can tell you it's going to get you some of the results that you want in terms of listings, in terms of paychecks and commissions. And if you are completely new into real estate and you need an entire breakdown of like what exactly it is that you need to do as an agent to succeed, go to newinrealestate.com. That is my boot camp where I break down in I want to say over 7 hours worth of training. We have PDFs, guides, and I share with you exactly how you can be successful if you're brand new, starting out, have really no guidance, but want to make sure that you crush it, especially your first year. So the link will be in the description box below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it, give it a thumbs up, share with someone else, and I'll see you on the next one.